Hi, when I grew up, my father was the only son of an alcoholic dad. My father went on to become a drill instructor in the United States Marine Corps. So I grew up in a very emotionally stifled, grizzled type family. And our culture raises men, at least in my generation, not to be so emotional. We don't feel anything. And when it came to my marriage, that really was a negative thing because I had a wife who wanted to connect with me on an emotional level, and I had no emotional vocabulary. I didn't know if I was agitated, aggravated, constipated. I didn't know what I was. And we have Brad Aldrich with us today from One Flesh Marriage, and he's going to talk to us about, he's going to talk to you ladies very specifically, about how you can connect with your man emotionally. So Brad, take it away.
Wives, I'm here to talk to you about your husband's emotional needs and emotional intimacy. Now, I know the first thing you're going to say is, wait a minute, I wish I knew what my husband's emotions were, and I don't see any of them. And I hear that from lots of different couples. But the truth is your husband does have emotional needs too. And sometimes understanding how to tap into them is really the key. So I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of what you can do to help to understand your husband's emotional needs. For men, the emotions and their intellect often run really closely together. So a lot of it is about what they're thinking. And the first thing you need to do is get them started talking about things that they're thinking, about their day, about the little things. We say a lot of times that it takes guys a while to grow into the emotional. They'll talk about the facts for a long time before they start talking about the emotions. So you've got to get places where you can help them talk about just the day-to-day. So when I come home and Kate says, "How was your day?" it helps just to kind of unload. But it's usually later that she's asking questions about things that happened at work or things that are going on that I can start getting into more of the emotional things that have happened, more of the thoughts, the ideas that I have that are important for me to share with her. The second idea is that most husbands' emotions are wrapped into their passions and their dreams even. Most guys have aspirations of where they would like to see their life go, where maybe they want to see their career go. The sad thing is a lot of times they don't talk about that with their wives because it's scary. Sometimes hearing your husband's dreams can be really frightening because he may be talking about job change or going back to school or those kind of things. But I encourage you to take some time and really understand his passions. For me, I just changed jobs recently, and it was through talking about where I felt God was growing me with Kate that more of that came out, and I just really felt supported when she was able to look at me and say, "I trust you, and I believe where God's growing you, and we can do this together." That really connected me emotionally to her, and it really was only through being able to share where I felt like I was supposed to be. Ladies, you may not know this, but your husbands probably are not that attuned to their emotions. They may know happy, they may know angry. If you're lucky, they may get sad once in a while, but that's probably about it. The reality is most guys just don't have the emotional language, the emotional vocabulary to know what it is they're feeling. But just because they don't have the words to go with it doesn't mean that the emotions aren't in there. Not long ago, I was talking to Kate about a story, something that was going on, and she kind of heard me and then said, "Oh, so you were feeling anxious about that?" And I said, "I don't know, I guess. Maybe that's what it is." I really didn't have any words to go with it, but I knew what was going on inside. And just having her to understand, hear me, and start to help me figure out what's going on is part of that emotional intimacy. That's the connection. So just listen, recognize that he's not going to know all the words, and just help him to walk through whatever those feelings are. Ladies, it is really important that your husband knows that he is valued, that he is appreciated for the things he does for you, for the family, that you appreciate the things he does at work. I know in my life there's times where I feel like things aren't going right. Either the money's tight or job's not what I want it to be or things are happening and even I'm putting in extra work that's taking me away from my family. And yet when Kate would come to me and say how much she appreciates the hard work that I'm doing or appreciates my long hours, it really made a difference. And it helped me to connect to her in a way that was very special. This may be an easy one for you or it may be hard, but I would challenge you to figure out a few things that your husband does well and let him know today how much you appreciate him. I promise that he will feel much more emotionally connected to you.
Thanks, Brad, for sharing those 4 things with how the ladies can connect with us as men emotionally. I find it interesting that the men only had 4, the women had 6, but hey, that's the way it goes. We're going to have you take some time now to do our knee to knee, nose to nose time, getting in the position where you sit and face each other. You can pause the screen and work through the questions at your own pace. If you'd like to get some more detail, go out to the website fantoflamedates.com, download the hard copy. We'll see you next time on Fan to Flame Dates.